the deal of the day. AT&T adds to its business empire with the $85.4 billion purchase of Time Warner. The deal is a sign of a changing media landscape. Joining me right now, exclusive by phone, is the president and CEO of Discovery Communications, David Zaslav. David, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, Maria. How are you?
Well, you've been investing in your business as you see the winds changing. I want to ask you about your recent deal, obviously, to create Group 9 Media. But first, let me get your reaction on this deal this morning, David. AT&T acquiring Time Warner.
Well, I think in some ways it's expected. As you look around the world, you see it much more in Latin America and in Europe. The cable operators first started offering broadband, and the phone guys started offering broadband. But in the last year or two, you've seen the quadruple play. So you get your wireless, your multi-channel, your broadband, and your hard phone, and it's very, very compelling. The problem is that each of the distributors, if they can offer all of those through a pipe, it effectively becomes a dumb pipe, because you have a number of competitors where you can go and get your wireless and your cable and your multi-channel. And so across Europe already and Latin America, the distributors are buying content in order to decommoditize that pipe that they've spent billions and billions on. So BT is buying EPL and Champions League. You have Sky going out and buying sports in order to decommoditize their platform. And so there's a bit of a race now for the infrastructure players to try and figure out, one, how do the cable guys have wireless and multi-channel, and how do the wireless guys have cable and multi-channel? And the second piece is that they're going to need content in order to make their offering special and unique. So I think it's a reinforcement that great IP and content is going to be the ultimate winner here. For Time Warner to be getting a healthy price like this reinforces that the environment for content for the long term is going to be very important and needed for these pipes.
Yeah, once again, we see that content is king, and we knew this over the years. But interestingly, I mean, a lot of firms are focused on mobility and basically being able to sell that content to pay TV operators, to digital, just like you've invested, to invest in content that can travel all over the world. You invested $100 million into this strategic partnership to create Group 9 Media, which is the Discovery Digital Content Holding Company. You've got new names: Threadless, Now This Media, The Dudo, and others. So you're investing in content that can be used in a mobile way. How does this deal do that when, in fact, I would have expected this deal 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Look, I think you just hit the most important point, which is content is king. But the question is, which content? How do you have the content that's going to be important on the TV set? And there's 7 billion screens out there. These wireless deals, as you weave them together, and players, when you aggregate them around the world, it's 7 billion screens. So for us, I got to Discovery 10 years ago, and we were a nonfiction company that was primarily Discovery and Animal Planet and TLC. And because we took a look at where the world was going, we've invested a huge amount to try and diversify our IP and enhance our IP. So we're the leader in sports in Europe, where we've invested $8 billion in sports. We have the equivalent of ESPN with Eurosport, and we have the Olympics for the next decade. The reason we did that, Maria, is because as we see the consolidation of the distributors, the pipe that can deliver all these different services to the home and to all the different devices, they're going to say, what content do I need in order to get people to want to come to my wireless product? What is Deutsche Telekom going to need? What's Telenor in Northern Europe going to need? What's Vodafone or AT&T and Verizon? So we said, number one, we want sports. So we're the leader in sports in Europe. Two is we beat Disney in Latin America with kids, and we've been buying kids IP. As you just mentioned, we're now the third largest player in short-form streaming video, we're the number one player on Facebook for news with Now This. And so when we look at our company now, it used to be that we were one basket, which is dual revenue stream cable around the world and free to air. But we have fought really hard to be strong in these new baskets. One is short form video. That right now isn't very profitable, but there's a huge millennial population consuming content. But the more important basket is own more content like sports, like kids, and even things like Oprah Winfrey. You know, OWN right now is the #1 network for African American women, and it's a top 10 network. And if the world changes in 5 years and people could choose anything, having channels that have super fans like Oprah and Tyler and a whole community wanting to watch that content, they're gonna buy that app 5 or 10 years from now. So you'll watch it on your TV, and then you could watch it on your phone. And so I do think it requires a fair amount of recognition that the world is changing, and we've given up a lot of profits and free cash flow to invest in these new initiatives so that we're ready for where the world is going. But also, you know, it's important for us to be a long-term player. I'm hoping that I'm talking to you in 10 years. But the good news is for us that in order to be an attractive company for sustainable growth, you know, we also need to be an attractive company to others. And you know, being the largest international player, being in sports and kids and short form, all of those are important to embrace the future for growth and to be attractive in the long term if, from an optionality perspective, we felt in a few years we needed to be with someone else.
Exactly.